Good afternoon. My name is Luis, and I'd quickly like to ask you a question. Let's have a show of hands. Who here is currently studying outside their home country or has in the past? Well, before I begin, let me tell you something about me. I spent most of my childhood living abroad. From 2013 until just a couple years ago, I lived in Shenzhen, China. Now, I could start this talk with a cliche hook, like the minute I stepped foot into China, my whole view of the world was turned upside down. But let's be honest, I was 5 at the time. I probably had other less important things to think about. Still, something did happen when I moved to Shenzhen. Even if I didn't realize it at the time, that moment quietly began to shape my view of the world, and eventually my sense of who I would become. I grew up in a city buzzing with life and opportunity. Over 8 years, I built a home there, but not just with locals, with people from everywhere. Argentina, Colombia, Canada, India, Germany, the US, my international school was its own little universe, a mix of languages, cultures, and stories that somehow all fit together. Growing up in these multicultural spaces teaches us something powerful, that the world isn't small or simple. It's huge, full of cultures that think differently, celebrate differently, and even dream differently. And experiences like these aren't unique. According to ISC research, there are now over 6.9 million students attending international schools around the world. That's 6.9 million young people growing up sharing similar experiences. Learning, thinking, and even building friendships across cultures. Studies also show that children who grow up abroad, third culture kids as researchers call them, tend to be more open-minded, adaptable, and resilient than their peers. But here's the part the research doesn't always mention. Being a third culture kid can also be a trap. Because when you're part of an international community, it's easy to live inside a bubble. A comfortable, English-speaking, safe bubble. You're in the country, but you aren't part of the country. You might not realize you're creating your own small, isolated bubble sometimes. But it happens, and it's important to catch yourself and break the barriers of living abroad. For me, at my old school, we had Chinese lessons every single day. From the age of 6, I had every opportunity to learn Mandarin, to really immerse myself in the culture around me. But I didn't. I messed around in class, made jokes, and refused to take it seriously. I thought it didn't matter. Now, I realize what a huge opportunity I wasted. Learning the language would have opened doors, socially, culturally, even professionally. But more importantly, it would have connected me more deeply to the place that raised me. And to be honest, I didn't know the quote I'm about to share when I lived in China. I only discovered it while writing this talk, which made me realize just how much I missed by not learning the language when I had the chance. As the saying goes in Chinese, 学一门语言就多一个看世界的窗口, which means to learn a language is to have one more window from which to look at the world. And I closed that window before looking through it. And missing that chance made me realize something bigger, that living abroad isn't about the places you are, but about the parts of yourself you carry into them. And if I had learned the local language, that would have helped me have a deeper, more authentic connection with my surroundings. Language isn't just words. It's a key to understanding how people think, how they joke, how they celebrate, and even how they struggle. Without it, you see life around you, but only through the glass, never fully stepping inside. And when you grow up in between cultures, it's easy to feel like you don't fully belong anywhere. You're always a little out of sync. Not entirely at home in the place where you come from, and not fully at home in the place where you live. For me, living in China, I knew that I wasn't actually Chinese. I looked, I spoke, I navigated, but part of me was always outside that world. Then, when I came back to Spain for the holidays, I realized I had changed, subtly, in ways that made me feel different to my peers there too. I didn't feel like I fully belonged in either place. And for a while, that uncertainty was uncomfortable. But it also taught me something essential. Your identity isn't tied to a single country or a single culture. It's fluid. You aren't defined by where you were born or what passport you carry. You are, in fact, a living mosaic, a melting pot of everything you've experienced. Every place you've been, every friendship you formed, and every challenge you've faced. Each language you learn, each culture you engage with, each time you step outside your comfort zone, adds a new tile to that mosaic. And while feeling out of place can be uncomfortable, it's that very in-between perspective that gives us access to unique opportunities, ones that people rooted in a single country or culture might never see. And here's the exciting part. Being a melting pot isn't just about feeling a little lost or out of place. It opens doors, doors that might never have appeared had you only ever stayed in a single country or culture. When you engage in local traditions, learn the language, and really connect with people that think differently from you, opportunities start to appear in unexpected ways. Opportunities to create friendships that span continents, collaborations that blend different ideas, and even career paths that others might never consider. You gain the ability to think creatively because you've seen the same problems from multiple perspectives. You become adaptable, confident, and resilient in unfamiliar situations, skills that are invaluable in today's interconnected world. And beyond the practical advantages, there's a more personal opportunity, the chance to understand yourself better. You start to see which parts of your identity are shaped by where you come from, and which parts are shaped by where you live. You discover strengths you didn't know you had, interests you wouldn't have explored otherwise, and a sense of possibility far greater than any single country or culture could ever offer. The real opportunity comes from being able to move between cultures and turn that perspective into action. So to everyone here today, especially those who are expats in Spain, please don't close your windows. Don't stay where it's easy or where you're comfortable. Talk to people who are different from you. Try the local food, even if it looks strange. Learn the local language, even if you sound funny at first. Say yes to the things that scare you a little, because that's where opportunity hides. Living abroad is more than just living in another country. It's a chance to reinvent how you see the world and how you see yourself. Every moment, every friendship, every misunderstanding, every step outside your comfort zone shapes you into someone new. For me, opportunity comes from curiosity, connection, and the courage to step outside what's familiar. So to everyone here today, so the international nomads, it's not a destination, it's a mindset, and it begins the minute you decide to look beyond what's familiar and choose to explore what surrounds you. Thank you.